One of the most common questions I'm asked as a psychologist are, what are the keys to living a happy life? I want to share with you today 2 incredible, true stories about how I learned from these stories how to share the power of happiness with people that come to see me as a psychologist. The first story is that of a great psychiatrist, a Jewish psychiatrist named Dr. Viktor Frankl. Frankl was from Vienna, and he went through 3 concentration camps, including Auschwitz. He lived to tell his story, and after the war, he wrote an incredible book called Man's Search for Meaning, one of the most important and well-read books of the 20th century. He talks about the secret towards living a happy life, a secret he uncovered in the concentration camps. And he looked around, and he learned from the camps, and he says as follows: those who had an orientation towards fulfilling a future meaning in their lives when they would hopefully be out of the camps were most apt to surviving the camps. Frankl was telling us an incredible thing. When a person is in the concentration camps, or chas v'shalom, they're experiencing sadness, anxiety, or depression, the most important thing they can do is find a goal to live towards, find something greater than themselves to focus on. He therefore said like this: people that go out and pursue happiness, they wake up and say, you know, I want to be happy today. I'm going to make sure I'm going to be happy today. No matter what happens to me, I'm going to be happy. What has Viktor Frankl said? Those people won't be happy. He says like this: the more you pursue happiness, the more it runs away from you. What does a person have to do? A person has to fulfill a meaning in their lives. The more they fulfill that meaning, the more they're going to feel a sense of meaning, and therefore they're going to be granted the present of happiness. He says if you try to fulfill a meaning, happiness simply ensues. And this is what he discovered in the concentration camps. He said there was one freedom that the Nazis, Yimach Shemam, could not take away from anyone. They could take away your body, they could take away your food, they could take everything away from you except one thing: the power to choose your attitude towards them. It's the one ultimate human freedom. And he said, despite the conditions of the camp, I will see if I can share a morsel of bread with a prisoner waiting to be killed. I will see if I can share a kind word with somebody who lost their family or is facing almost instant death in the concentration camps. Frankl said when he was giving to somebody and fulfilling a meaning by giving to them, he could experience a sense of happiness. And his message was not just for the camps, it's for everyone in the world today. If you're feeling sad, look for something beyond yourself to fulfill. The second story, which shows us the power of happiness, happened over 2 decades ago when a group of yeshiva students were on the Brooklyn Bridge, and suddenly, without any warning, a group of Arab terrorists started shooting at their van. One child was killed immediately. Others were wounded. One young man was taken to the hospital still conscious. He was shot in the head. When he got to the hospital, things did not look good, but they got much, much worse. He started bleeding in his brain. The doctors didn't know what to do. They had to take him to surgery immediately to save his life. During that surgery, they had to remove a part of his skull to make sure he could live. And they did this effectively. And the parents of this child and his brothers and sisters were all standing around, saying Tehillim, saying Psalms, praying to God, doing whatever they could possibly do. They asked the doctor, what are the chances of him surviving? He said, it doesn't look very good. I've seen many cases like this before, and very, very few people would actually ever be able to survive such an attack. What happens over the next few days? Despite that condition, despite the doctor's warnings, his family never gave up hope. A few days later, to the shock of audiences watching a live TV broadcast and everyone standing around, the mother of the child who was lying in a coma turned to the audience and said, I'm here to invite all of you to celebrate the future wedding of my son. Everybody looked in amazement. This poor boy, he's sitting in a coma. Yet the mother is inviting everyone to enjoy this tremendous simcha. No one was sure if he'd actually even live. But here's the remarkable thing. She was calling on the power of a great statement of tracht gut, wenn sein gut, meaning think good and it will be good. She was doing something called conscious determinism, despite the conditions, despite the shock to everyone listening, all her doctors. She had positive thoughts. She believed that she could think positively, she'd have a positive outcome. The remarkable end of the story is this young man survived, went on to get married. Baruch Hashem is raising a wonderful Jewish family. He was a product of good thinking. The two most powerful secrets to being happy are: one, searching for a meaning in your life. Forget about trying to be happy. Just go beyond yourself. Achieve something greater than yourself. Help somebody. Love somebody. Give to somebody else. Happiness will ensue if you don't chase it. And the second powerful secret is, if you're feeling bad, you're feeling worried, you're feeling anxious, maybe you're depressed, do something very powerful. Tracht gut, wenn sein gut. Think good and it will be good. Use the power of conscious determinism. I guarantee you more hatzlacha, more success, and more happiness in your life. Welcome to this new series on Hidabrut called Marriage Matters. My name is Rabbi Schonbuch, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist based in New York and around the world via Skype. On this important series, I will be answering your questions you have about marriage, relationships, dating, parenting, and about any issue dealing with family and relationships. But more than what I have to say, I want to hear what you have to say. So please email to this address and send in your questions, and I'll try to answer as many questions on this new show.